Alright, so this is Grixis Reanimator, or Grixis Control with kind of a reanimation package. One of the things that's nice about this deck is that its threats are castable that it's trying to reanimate. They're just good cards on their own. Our cards like Connive, Concoct, these cards have text even when we don't want to be reanimating with them. Same thing with Eldest Reborn. This has an effect even when you don't have something to get back right away. I don't just pee in a bucket on the floor. The basement's fully finished. It has a bathroom down here. It's real quick. Lickety split right in the next room. Stack Moss and Sabar, thank you for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. I don't think I can keep this in good conscience, right? It just doesn't do anything in most matchups. The upside is it has all of our colors, but just like no cheap interaction. I think there's a good chance the expansion explosions are some hot nonsense and should be anything else, just like more cheap interactive stuff. Really glad we mulliganed the first hand against turn 1 basic mountain. Drakes, maybe? Even if looks like we're going to miss the third land drop next turn, Discovery can drag us through. If we hit our third land naturally, we're going to play Thought Erasure. Although this does get Spell Pierced here, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see that happen. There's an update on the ad and Tempo Storm situation. Nope. Waiting to hear back from my rep. I can't connive the Drake because this comes into play tapped. Conniving the Drake also gets blown out by a shock because they would give it a third point of power in response. Also would get blown out by that. Is it crazy to just try and concoct into a thing? What are our odds are pretty low, right? But I actually just don't have anything else going on. Alright. Alright. Do 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 He is just going to die, but that's fine. I have Lava Coil plus expansion Lava Coil next turn. So, like, if this isn't a protection spell, their board's going to be gone, and then I have Nezahal. This is Christmas as far as I'm concerned. God bless Best Beard. I mean, like, those are the lines you're looking for, right? So if they don't have a dive down or a spell pierce on top, they kept both cards on top. Well, that's terrifying. Dead to shock. Alright, well, we're dead to rights, so... do this. Expansion it. Don't dive down me, bro. Wow! I copied a foil Lava Coil. Thank you very much, Magic Arena. I copied a foil Lava Coil, Magic Arena. Never have I been so disappointed before in the entirety of my adult life. Rude. Rude. I actually don't have anything to sideboard in here, do I? I feel like I don't. I feel like I don't. Like, Duress isn't very good. Not even Artifact let Jeff down this hard. I think Stroke's too narrow. Alright, get in the ugly corner, you two. You know what you did. You know what you did. You're disappointing, that's what you are. They don't, so foil cards that make tokens do not make foil tokens. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, exactly. So, I'm gonna elect to not cast down right now because I don't want to play into a Spell Pierce. Although I guess maybe you could argue I should cast it down because if they Spell Pierce I could untap and Eldest Reborn it. Could see that being real. Ugly cards have feelings too. Red source. Ring-a-ding-ding. You're beautiful. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Is it better than the last 3 decks? Possibly. We're down a game in this match, but feeling pretty okay. Heading on in here. I get to play this Eldest Reborn through a Spell Pierce, which is nice. So this Crackling Drake should be dead, which puts us in a good spot. And like I have another Niv to follow it up. We've got huge tracts of land at the moment, but feeling okay otherwise. What's a worst case scenario here? They untap and play like a Niv of their own. I guess double Drake's kind of bad for us here, too. My other Niv got exiled. My other Niv was exiled. I don't think Niv really helps you grind. I think I'd rather have Thief of Sanity rather than Nicol Bolas. Sorry, Nick, specifically. And more importantly, I want to put this Niv into play here because I can trade this Niv off now as a removal spell, basically, and then get this Niv back with Eldest Reborn. So, like, this gives them a window to, like, cast their spells without letting me draw cards, but, like, taking their Drake off the table here is really valuable. So, like, obviously I would have liked to have drawn cards off of those, but it is what it is. Hopefully we draw an absurd number of instants and sorceries next turn. That is not that. Maldrick, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Alright. Wow, the concession. Okay. I mean, I guess they were probably just assuming my hand was much better than it is, right? Which is probably, like, not an unfair assumption, but, like, our hand was real bad. I think on the draw, I want these Duresses, and I don't want these Expansion Explosions. I think I want to poke through their Spell Pierces and their Dive Downs. This hand's just not good enough, right? It has all of our colors in it, but it's really slow. It doesn't have any efficient removal. This hand's okay. I think he's got to go. Perfect. Okay, show me what you work with. A majority of Jank Dreams going to die after Treasure Map goes bye-bye. I don't know about that. I think I'm going to take... I think I just want to pick apart their threats here, so I'm going to take their Ral, and then hopefully next turn they Discovery, and then I get to Thought Erasure their Niv. I think I just want to keep their threats down. I think I'm okay with this getting Spell Pierced. Do I want both of these? I think I want both of these. Actually, I want to bin this because I can concoct it into play. That's what I want to do. The best way to figure out the jank glue for a current format is take 4 Saffron Olive videos and see what card is present in every one of them. That's some good advice. So, I do want to get the Spell Pierce out of their hand at some point. Maybe I'm supposed to Thought Erasure them that turn. Although I kind of want the Thought Erasure to resolve so I can take their Niv, right? Dive down, okay. That's pretty good. Gosh, am I supposed to leave them the Niv so they don't have the second Drake? I guess the Drakes don't have that much power currently. Well, I guess in theory I concoct through the Spell Pierce in 2 turns. The problem is this, yeah, they're incredibly likely to, like, have cards that do stuff. We have not had good beats with drawing spells so far in this set. Yeah, no, know there's really anything we can do here. Next turn I get to concoct Niv back out, but it's probably going to be too late by then. Yeah, actually we're going to F4 here, and then we're just dead on the attack. Yeah, just need another Lava Coil or Cast Down or something like that. At least our lands are pretty. Rage cut a land. How many lands are in here is a good question. There's 27 lands in this deck? Oh yeah, let's fix this. There should not be 27 lands in this deck. I need to take more time in the evenings and review the submissions. Yeah, I don't think, 27 is probably one or even two too many. We have Search for Azcanta, Thought Erasure, and Discovery as tools to help us hit our land drops consistently. Yeah, I think 25 is the direction I would like to head in. I'm gonna cut the swamp. Probably cut the island. Yeah, probably cut the mountain. I think I want a 4th Lava Coil for sure. That card's great. And then... I feel like this expansion explosion is kind of unnecessary in here. I'm gonna play an extra Niv and an extra Eldest Reborn, and then maybe something else at the bottom end. Kyle, thank you for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Refresh your browser page, Chalky. Yeah, do we want a main deck sweeper? Maybe. Ritual of Soot's like a fine card, right? I don't hate that. Throw the 3rd Eldest in the sideboard. Let's give this a try. While I generally don't mind things like... While I generally don't mind high land counts, like 26 and 27 lands in control decks, one of the things you need to keep in mind is that the more card selection you play... So, for instance, the more copies of things like Discovery, Thought Erasure, stuff like that you play, the fewer lands you can get away with, because the more cards you're going to see every game. So those types of surveil style effects allow you to kind of cheat on your land count a small bit, because they're going to help you see more cards in the early game to be a little bit more consistent. Modern Open this weekend in St. Louis. Got a crush with Amulet, and it's time to re-sleeve. What's going on in St. Louis, Kyle? Is a store or something running an event? I don't think I'd heard of any opens, because Open Series is in Cleveland this weekend, right? This game looks super reasonable. Needs some land, but we've got Search for Azcanta to go digging. That is a stunning full art card. That's quite fantastic. No, none of the split cards have a full art option currently. And then here's, you know, some of the risk of, we talk about things being awkward. So our opponent looks to be playing a Wilderness Reclamation deck, so I have 6 cards in my hand, but now 1, 2, 3 of them don't have any text, so this one basically has no text. Oh, I forgot to put sleeves on. Good call. We'll fix that after this. And now I'm playing Grixis, which means I don't have a way to interact with enchantments. So now Reclamation's done, and we're kind of just at its mercy. That being said, having 4 copies of Niv in our deck to eventually get to should be good here. Oh, you're totally right. I don't want to play against this deck anymore. I don't even got to think about it. We're at the rank floor. I don't even want to think about it. Let's try again. Take 2. Oh no, I forgot the sleeves. I'm writing a note. I'm writing a note. I have a note written down. We'll get it for the next one. We'll get it for the next one, I promise. Get in the ugly corner, Eldest Reborn. You know what you did. We can talk about it later. God, look at the fires burning on this card. That's so fantastic. I think it's Wizard's Retort. I could also just take the Tempest Shin. I take the Tempest Shin. I kind of want a second Black Source, right? Yeah, because I have Contempt and Ritual of Soot in my deck, so I'm going to take that. You think it's Dive Down? Now, I think I have enough removal that I can play through Dive Down. Dude Light, thanks for the tip. We are losing because the deck's not pretty enough. Here's 20 to foil anything that's not foil. If it's more than 4 cards, I'll donate more. Sounds good, dude. Thanks for the support. You've been kind of absurd the last while. Good to have you around. Confusion, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I mean, I still get to curve out my spells, right? Like I'm gonna end step cast down. I'm gonna untap Lava Coil. So I do this. And I still get to like do my things. I just guarantee don't have to deal with the Tempest Shin. Because like they can't Wizard Retort this Lava Coil. They can't Spell Pierce the Lava Coil either. See if they have a Merfolk Trickster here or not. Nope, just no threat. That's good. Stay in the ugly corner, Eldest. Not gonna tell you again. Alright, this gets the Wizard Retort out of their hand. Yeah, all the Twitch timings on things have been real weird since they changed systems. All right, we have 4 copies of Niv in our deck, so if we just like hit a Niv here, we're in an absurd spot. The Sagas would probably look really sweet. Dunk. Well, happy 12 months. Maybe you haven't checked in on a computer where it's popped up since then. Bye, Felicia. Niv is quite the happy dude. You probably don't need this much top end. Weird confusion. Yeah, the whole, like I said, the whole thing's just been a little off. It's like, feels a lot better when we draw our spells. Yeah, like, we're kind of a Grixis Niv deck in a way, right? That just, like, has extra ways to get him back out into play. How do you find Thieves against Mono Blue? They're interesting. The main reason I bring in Thieves in this build specifically is I think it's important that we have some kind of threat to work towards ending the game once we kill their first few plays. And, like, only having 4 Nivs isn't good enough, and I think this card's too slow. Thought Knots, thank you for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's give this a go. Yep, Jackson, as of last week, they added the ability to make a variety of different cards full art like this, which has been really sweet. If they want to counter this, it's like no hard feelings. That could eventually generate card advantage for us, but I think it's less important than Thief of Sanity. So, like, not playing Thief there also lets me put the Shockland into play tapped, which is nice. Yoink. Whoop. You made this. I made this. Yeah, definitely, Silas. In fact, I'd encourage you, if the card's already out, I'd encourage you to submit the build around request now, and then it can sit in the queue and gather extra points for waiting. So you just do that using the form on my website, only instead of linking a deck in the comments, just put the cards that you want built around, or the idea or whatever it is. Alright, sleeves and foils from Dude Light. I think we had most of the foils. Let's take a look. Yeah, we actually can't craft Vraska's Contempt, because this is one that you get from laddering. Cry of the Carnarium. And then Dude sent over 20... If there's any other cards you want us to foil later, dude, let me know. Sleeves. Sleeves. You rock. We'll get some more foils down the line. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of sweet cards we need to foil. Throw singles at Declan. It's funny. The things that keep kids entertained or they find interesting are kind of awe-inspiring some of the time. We gave Declan a Lego. Declan just got a Lego kit, and it's got this little part that you push on one side and it pops up the other side, and it's got a little Lego that says TNT, so the TNT's like blowing up. And this is just like the greatest thing he's ever seen. Like, I'm glad you're happy. Of course, Karen. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a wonderful one. All right, Esper. So this is interesting. So we don't have a ton of... This matchup's going to be interesting, I say, because we have dead removal, but they kind of have dead removal too. And, like, our Niv-Mizzets and our other things are, like, pretty reasonable in this matchup, all things considered. Do I keep this as a third red source? I'm going to be greedy and bin it. I feel like I can probably find another third red source before we find a Niv. Does the Lego top the Yoshi game? I think he prefers the Yoshi game, but that's mostly just because he can eat my character. I'm not gonna run this out just because I don't want it to get absorbed. The Lego Bastion from Overwatch. Christy doesn't share her Legos with Declan. So Christy actually has the Lego Bastion, but it's funny. I keep telling her that, like, if she wants to buy Legos that she wants to keep for herself personally, she just can't let the kids see them. Because every time she, like, gets a box of Legos, so it's like a set she wants to put together and keep, and I'm like, they're 4 and 5. They want to touch all of it. Yeah, I wonder, I could probably stand to push the background music on Arena a small touch. Although it's better on Arena because Arena has sound effects when I'm eating compared to Magic Arena or Magic Online. Magic Online is just like complete silence when I'm eating. At what point do we slap down Eldest on an empty board? Eh. They know about this Contempt, so like... Has there ever been an effect that exiles from exile? So there is a silver bordered card, which are joke cards for those that aren't familiar. And there's a card called AWOL that removes a card from the game and then removes it from the removed from the game zone and puts it in the absolutely freaking forever removed from the game zone. But obviously that's not an actual normal Magic card. No, you're fine, K-Dog. I mean, that's you're far from the first person to mention that. So, my gamble on ditching the red source hasn't quite paid off, because I drew Niv-Mizzet now. Short stream today. I usually do Magic till about 3-ish on Tuesday through Thursday. I'm trying to be a little bit less absurd with doing 9, 10, 12-hour days every day. The Mind Slayer, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So, I'm actually going to give them the chance to absorb my Contempt. Because if they absorb my Contempt, I can untap an Eldest Reborn this Teferi. So I'm giving them the option to counterspell this. Would you like to counterspell this? And honestly, maybe I should have done that last time. I don't think it's worth concocting just as a Surveil 3. This Concoct's going to be valuable for getting Niv back after they inevitably kill him. I think I actually want to set this game up. I think this game's likely to go long enough that I just want to draw this Thought Erasure and, like, just wait on the... Like, I could be really aggressive here and, like, ditch both of these, but I think I just want to keep both. Just, like, in it for the slug. I don't think that's strictly true, Snap Bolt Snap. A lot of these decks have more Mortifies than Vraska's Contempts. Third Teferi is kind of punishing for my sequence here. Because, like, now... Although, I guess they burned the Negate. So if they don't have a counterspell for this Eldest Reborn, we're in a good spot. But if they have a counter for this, we're going to be pretty far behind. Okay, sweet. I mean, Esper can never close quickly, Chalky. That's not one of its strengths. It has a lot of strengths, but closing quickly is not one of them. Yeah, in the main deck, they usually don't have that many counterspells, and they've already played 2. Post board, I'll expect a lot more counters out of the opponent. All right, take one of my threats. We know they don't have a counterspell here. We know they don't have a counterspell here, so they bin that. So, like, do you have a counterspell for my Concoct? Otherwise, I'm about to concoct that bad Mamma Jamma back into play here. Nah, I don't think so, Captain Command. The deck's just not very good. How, do they not have a Mortify either? It might be greedy ditching the extra red. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. All right, I'm gonna put Nezahal into play. Do they have graveyard hate? I don't think so. Because this beats Kaya's Wrath, right? The beginning of the next end step? Yeah, if they Kaya's Wrath me, this beats Kaya's Wrath. Which is gasoline. Oh, Kaya. Yeah, that's true. Kaya the Planeswalker is graveyard hate. It's also possible, I thought about potentially leaving a land on top of my deck so I could have a land to discard here rather than Discovery Dispersal. I think I just get their Teferi and then I put my Niv into play. I'm not done yet. Oh, I should have done this first, right? 10 out of 10 should have done this first, so I could have surveilled away the bad stuff. And he would have done a damage, right? Small missequencing on my part there. It's funny, if this Niv-Mizzet lives, he actually gets to cycle Ritual of Soot, right? It feels like it's doing all right, actually. Cast down is non-legendary, so it's not a legal play. They only have one more Teferi in their deck, right? Like, this is one, and there's 2 over here. Do I just jam this? How do I feel about just jamming the Eldest Reborn? I kind of like it. It only returns to play if it's exiled from its own effect, Chalky, yeah. So Magic doesn't track cards through zones. Getting it down under Absorb here is really good. Yep.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
Discard a card, please. And then I have another Nezahal in my deck, so I think I just hang tight with these crap cards in my hand. So that way I have things to discard to the next Nezahal. If they find a Kaya here, I'm really sad. Thought Erasure, sure. That one doesn't really matter. Naz's own effect is what we refer to as a delayed trigger, I believe, is the technical term. Wow, they ditched Kaya's. Do they not realize they have a Mortify here? Or do they have another? They must have another answer to Niv, huh? Hey, Delta. Thanks for the support. Morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. The Teferi got exiled, so taking the Teferi wasn't an option. And, like, this getting absorbed is, like, kind of okay for me, right? Because then my Concoct can resolve later. And it draws me a card. Oh! Ooh! Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you got a Mortify. That's cool. No big. They need a Thought Erasure here now, right? If they have Thought Erasure, take my Nezahal, I could maybe be sad. Yeah, I do need to kill them before I deck. That is actually a concern. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say, I honestly think this might be just a straight up good matchup for us. That felt very reasonable from our side of the board. And that was even with having drawn a number of cards that were just dead in the matchup. Turns out having a bunch of Niv-Mizzets and Nezahals and ways to get them back is good. Who would have thought? And Connive Concoct takes their Thief of Sanities that they're going to bring out of the board, right? That seems awesome. Is our deck full of giants that can't be countered and draws cards good versus Esper? Who'da thunk, right? I think I trim a couple of discoveries here. I think that's the trim, looking at everything's going on. Maybe I don't want all the counter spells. No, I want all the counter spells. Yeah, I'm gonna trim a couple of these. Just kind of like filler, right? They binned Kaya's Wrath. Sorry, it wasn't Kaya, they binned Kaya's Wrath. This hand's really close. Unfortunately, it has this one non-foil card in it, so I have to take a mulligan. This hand is excellent. Get in the ugly corner, Nezahal. Ooh. It might be a little greedy keeping that there with only 2 lands, but Thought Erasure is going to help hopefully surveil us into a third. you get punched in the face, and you get punched in the face. Everybody gets punched in the face. So, this is potentially a little greedy. I'm leaving them the better card because I'm going to be able to negate it before it happens. And I'm also banking on them not drawing a blue source for this. So, by the time they can Eldest, I'm going to be able to have Negate up, and maybe this will just be a quick game because Phage the Untouchable here is going to run away with it. Yeah, we definitely, and like, I also could have missed my land drop here, which punishes that play, but it's a high risk, high upside play, it feels like. So they bin that because they need a Mortify now. If they don't hit Mortify or Cast Down here, we are going to destroy them. Do you still think that Frilled Mystic in the board of Temur Climb is correct? It feels clunky in the matchups where you want to counter stuff more than I think it's the best card. I agree that it's clunky. I also think it's necessary. I don't think there's a better card for that slot. Like, you want it to be a creature because, like, in the matches where you want that effect, you want Domri to be good too, so you don't want to, like, dilute your deck a bunch. Alright, so this game's pretty done. Although I do suppose that this is flipping their search for Azcanta faster, which is meaningful. I think I just let the absorb happen here, and I save the negate for the Eldest Reborn this next turn. Because this is going to get to flip. I'll negate the Eldest Reborn. And then I think this probably races there. So they brought in Unmoored Ego. Good. Good. I feel a primal satisfaction every time I beat someone who brings in Unmoored Ego against me. Just like, get out of my house. Oh, this last card's a land, isn't it? This is a land, and I'm about to get stuffed after saying I get satisfaction for beating them. Land, Eldest Reborn, isn't it? Whew! Alright. One of your finest counter spells, please. One of your finest counter spells, please. Alright. Alright, cook it with gas, chat. Cook it with gas. They can't even Duress this one. This one's just over here hanging out like, hi guys. I'm just here to negate. I miss Contempt. Alright, one of your finest discard or counter spells, please. Yikes! Alright, what are we doing here? This is, oh, I can play this and then sacrifice this. Perfect. Perfect.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
Do 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 do. I wonder if this is the most hits anyone's ever endured from a Thief of Sanity.
If you show remorse, I'll show restraint.
Hey, the basic potato, thanks for the tip. Went 5-0 in Modern last night with Vanifear Pod. Here's $1 dues to get it in the queue. Thank you for the support, I appreciate it. Alright, so do I just Nezahal here? I think I just Nezahal, right? Just like thunk, go. Because if they Eldest, I sack Kaya and then Nezahal kills Teferi.
Keep up the pace.
This isn't Niv-Mizzet. It doesn't draw from instant insertion. It draws when they cast any non-creature spell. So if they cast this, I'm drawing a thing. I decked my opponent in the mirror with Thief. Yikes. I think this is less likely to win the game when it untaps than Niv. I'm not sure, though. Not 100%.
That's how it was meant to happen.
You could maybe argue that Vraska's Contempt, the Teferi to put them to 8 is better there. Just because it does put them dead on board. It's really good, Bob. I want to watch that TV show, right? You're a little bit late, Disdainful Stroke. I think I'm just concocting here. None of those are Niv. I think I just leave these. Just leave those like that. Serious talk, Magic the Gathering can make a really good long-running animated series. I agree.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
So, Teferi can tuck the Thief in again here, but then I'm drawing Eldest Reborn next turn. So, next turn, they're getting another creature or planeswalker back. And I think that means I just want to Vraska's Contempt this and hit them to 1. I think I'm just going to hit them to 1 here. So I don't really want to reset this. If they activate Azcanta, I'm going to Contempt this in response. And I'm using their Contempt rather than the Contempt in my hand because I would like to keep the max card count in my hand to have ways to protect this.
We will meet again.
Thought Erasure, sure. Nahiri and Soren need to hug it out and chill. Thank you for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So the only target for this is Kaya, because Teferi's exiled now. And my graveyard is empty currently. My graveyard is beautiful, except for this Uggo, but also lacking creatures.
I can get rid of anything, living or dead.
Alright. Well, after that match, I'm kind of ready for more. I'm kind of interested in finding more Esper control. I feel like a lot of the decks we play kind of eat it against Esper control, so having one that kind of gives them the business feels good. I think it was a punt by Watson, only let's get the pre-order pack once, so I was ready to purchase it 4 times. I mean, like, the extras, they'd have to give different extras with it, and, like, there's nothing stopping you from just buying packs like normal. I think I just mulligan this. No second land. It's a shame, like, if any of these were black sources, the Thought Erasures would make it super keepable, but alas, they are not. Hopefully this is a matchup where Lava Coil is good. Is there a more Midwest phrase than give him the business? Is that a Midwest thing? God, there's so many ugly cards in our hand, chat. Why are you hitting us? Why? Yeah, probably, Dude Light. Alright, looking for black sources. Looking for black sources. Looking for black sources. Yikes! Another double black card. Well. On a scale of 1 to dead, chat, we might be sliding towards the dead side of the scale, unfortunately. Indiana is the south of the Midwest. We get 2 more shots at a black source next turn, right? And these contempts do gain us a little bit of life. Okay, okay, so that's actually not terrible. We get to cast down their bird. And then if we hit one of our black sources next turn, we get to Ritual of Soot and clear the Growth Chamber Guardian and the Phoenix. So this play screams Ritual of Soot from the rooftops. But it is what it is. Alright, good chance we're dead here. This is game 1. So there's Shocks, Lightning Strikes, and Collision Colossus in the opponent's deck. So I think we fumbled and bumbled like 2 turns too long here. Yeah. Can't afford to do that in a match like this. Alright, so this is not particularly good. Moment of Craving seems fine. I guess our sideboard's not great here for aggro, huh? And I kind of felt like I maybe had too many cards against control. So maybe I'll adjust that here in a moment. I'm not sure that Cry of the Connive is necessarily the sweeper I want in my sideboard either. I can see Bedevil being good. I can see just maxing out on cast downs being correct potentially. Getting out of the house is overrated, to be fair. You probably, if you're anything like the rest of us, you probably paid good money for your house. Why would you want to leave it? My house is wonderful. Do I need a second blue source? Feel like I want some removal spells, huh? At that, got a second blue source anyways. Do I want to kill this with fire? I'm gonna just Discovery, I think. We'll draw more lands, famous last words. We just got done stuffing Esper Control in a box. So that was satisfying. One of your finest Rituals of Soot, please. I actually think this is okay. Because now I get to Thought Erasure plus cast down this turn. Kind of sculpt the game plan here. Wow, they have a whole lot of nothing going on. Do 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 do. We've got huge tracts of land. The nice thing here is, wow, that is real. I was just about to say we get to flip our search for Azcanta next turn. Oh, do I? Oh, you're just giving me the trigger. I'm gonna flip this bad boy over. Thanks. Do you think they're just gonna kill me with the trigger? I guess. More power to you. One removal spell, please. I mean, like, it's gonna do a lot of damage to me, I guess. I get to play the Primal Tide next turn, though, and coffee's for closers, and Primal Tide's getting himself a cup of joe. What's going on, Insanity? Life is swell. Yeah, no hasty threat this turn is kind of really good for us. This one. Go. Urgh. This ain't your daddy's Esper control. I got cards that kill you, opponent. That's a good one. That's a real good one, yeah. One. Would you like to count to 3 with me, opponent? It's gonna be fun, I promise. We're looking to dodge Groll Spellbreaker at this point because it's hasty and can hit us with the tree. You have a Harpooner deal. I think I'm pretty unlikely to need to use the ability, and playing the 8th land out there was important because the 8th land lets me activate Azcanta, plus also cast Vraska's Contempt in the same turn. Which I think is an important line. Yeah, you should pretty much always choose to go first in Magic. Connive is, yeah, correct. Connive is power 2 or less, not converted mana cost 2 or less. Alright, sweet. That game was a great example of winning because we had ways to actually win the game, right? I mean, do you think the opponent regrets their decision to not kill the search for Azcanta? I bet they regret the decision. It was really funny. I remember, I think it was the top 8 of an SCG Open. The players were playing like a Grixis Shadow Mirror match, and one of the players decided to be cheeky and go second, and they died on turn 3. It was just such sweet justice. I'm 14-0 in matches and 28-2 in games today with Temur Climb. Yeah, the Temur Climb deck's really good. There's a streamer tournament, next Thursday, actually, a week from today, and that's one of the decks that I'll probably consider playing for it. Still very reasonable and powerful. This control deck's really good against Rekindling Phoenix, huh? We got like 7 ways to exile in the 75. Sure, you have a thing. This is one of the many reasons to be aggressive with my use of removal. Keep my health total high. My deck doesn't have any consistent ways to gain life. We just have a couple of smaller ways like this. I thought it was universally agreed that you want to be on the draw on the Shadowmirrors. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm a big fan of just killing people. Look at how big the ugly corner is, chat. It's encroaching on the pretty cards. Demir Spy, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No gamble, no future. No gamble, no future. No gamble, no future. Yikes! Yikes! All right, I'm actually gonna keep the other concoct up top here for that way after this Niv dies. Although, if the Niv does die, we probably don't have time to recover it. Look, I'm sure someone somewhere has good metrics that make it show that you should, in fact, draw in the Grixis Shadow Mirror. I'm just saying, I watched it happen in an SCG tournament, and then the person promptly died on the 3rd turn of the game, and it felt like sweet, sweet justice, is all I'm gonna say. Yep, of course Collision is your remaining card. Why wouldn't it be? And then, I think we actually have the tools to stabilize here, except the Cinder Vines is going to beat us out of the game. So, like, we're going to 5 here, and then I just don't have enough life to, like, concoct and then spend removal spells to get the rest of this going on. Ritual of Soot lets us stay alive here, because I can kill the Phoenix and then Ritual of Soot everything away, but alas, it is not meant to be. You lose all your Bayesian points if you're wrong. Bayesian points. Is this deck supposed to have some number of Sarkans in it? So, not as constructed? I don't know. I think we're going to play one more match here, but I think a not unreasonable conclusion is that this is probably just a bit worse version of the Jeskai Niv deck that we played yesterday. Yeah, Grixis, like, Dispersal bouncing an enchantment is literally the only way to take it off the table. Random bounce effects. Look how pretty it is, chat. Look at all my full arts. Aren't they beauteous? I love me some borderless cards. They're beautiful. Do. If they're playing Esper, these cards are Dayan. Rude. Well, so our hand isn't great against Esper sans these Nivs, but this matchup in general seems okay for us. Having a bunch of Nivs and Nezahals and ways to bring them back seems not unreasonable for our side of the board. So hopefully we just, like, hit another land drop in the next 2 draws and, like, just start jamming Niv-Mizzet after Niv-Mizzet after Niv-Mizzet down their throat. The one thing I have to say about stats in Magic is that people often like to overstate with the level of confidence the conclusions they are able to draw from any data that they have. Most Magic data has small sample sizes, and there's so many variables between player skill and small changes to deck list, both what you're playing and the matchups you're playing against, that most Magic data should be taken with a huge grain of salt. T-Dub, thank you for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Don't punch me in the face again. I want to cast this Niv. A boulder of salt, if you will. Yep. Whenever I need a boulder of salt, I just open up Twitch chat. Just find any large stream that's not in sub-only mode. You'll get to scoop plenty of salt out of it. My favorite thing about Dota is they've removed the inherent variance a lot of these games have, and instead replaced it with teammate variance, which is sweet. You gotta have a reason it's not your fault, right? I think I just Thought Erasure them back here since I drew that. Well, that worked out. All right. This reads my opponent gains 1 life, discards a card, and I draw a card, so I'm gonna call that good enough. Now, unfortunately, they have this annoying absorb that I need to work my way through before I can get this concoct to work. So I kind of need to wait for another Thought Erasure or something along those lines. And they have the search for Azcanta going here too, so I don't really have a ton of time to, like, play through that. There's a good chance they're going to run away with this game because they flipped the Azcanta over so soon. I basically need to hit another Niv or a Thought Erasure, like, now. And then I need to find more threats after that, for after they Kaya's Wrath that one off the board. I guess one of our copies of Nezahal would probably be pretty reasonable for us. Interesting, they elected a Chemister's Insight rather than Azcanta. I guess that means they want land. The eighth land is, like, pretty important, right? Because it allows them to Chemisters plus Azcanta the same turn then. I'm gonna take a couple more draws at a Nezahal, but probably a good chance we're done here. Get to the post board games. I'm gonna hold this land in my hand because extra cards in my hand for Nezahal are ideal. Ed Bingo, thank you for the 16 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday wherever you're at in the world. Great. Discard your Absorb, please. Although I suppose if they have another Teferi, they might just let this happen, yeah.
Matter of time. Let's skip to the good part.
Let's skip to the good part. Take one more draw step here. I'll call it a day. At least it was a pretty draw step. So, pretty easy sideboarding in a matchup like this. We get to cut all of these awkward removal spells that we have that are obviously not good here against another control deck. These sweepers, we get to bring in discard spells and counter spells, an extra Eldest Reborn, and Thief of Sanity, of course. Trim a couple of discoveries, the last two. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's a good part with Teferi. I mean, no, not really. You're right. Azcanta's gasoline. Although it'll be a lot better at the end of the season when this Vraska's Contempt is full art. Alright, I think I just punched them in the face to start here, rather than play the Azcanta. Oh no! They have double face punching, chat! Oh no. I think I take their Thought Erasure here, just because they're missing lands as well. So I'd rather give them less surveils to, like, hit their land drops, ideally. And, like, my gut instinct was to take Thief there because it's so important, but, like, my hand has 3 answers to Thief in it. Like, both Connive's and Vraska's Contempt answer Thief. Connive is an A+ answer to Thief, just, like, 4 mana control magic. Yoink. Yeah, I like them taking Search for Azcanta there. It's my non-redundant card. So, they could go for max greed here, and they play Thief and I miss a land, the game is over. However, I hit the land, and now they need a land to Contempt their own Thief, which means I get a good clean 2-for-1. Because, like, I kind of don't mind this gamble from the opponent here, especially if they have the 4th land. Because, like, what's the word that I'm searching for? If I miss that land drop, they have Negate up, and then the game's just over while the Thief hits my deck again and again and again. So, I think I like that gamble on their part. Because, like, they get to keep playing Magic even if they miss here. Even if this happens, so. So 2 cards we don't know. They know all 3 of ours. Nigh on Dreaming, thank you for the 13 months. Hope you are having a fantastic Thursday wherever you're at. Welcome back.
Sorry I'm late.
Let's just cut that out, shall we?
Really should have seen that coming.
Really should have seen that coming. You're not wrong, Tefri. You are not wrong. So unfortunately, even if I hit the 7th land next turn, I don't just want to jam the Primal Tide, because they have the Eldest Reborn here, and I draw 1 card when the Eldest Reborn comes into when they gets cast, but that only puts me to 2 cards in my hand. So I want to wait until I have at least 2 cards here, so that way I can Primal Tide, it gets Eldest, and then etc. Now the question becomes, though, do I want to discard Concoct, Discovery, and another card to Eldest Reborn? I kind of don't think I do. I think I'm going to go ahead and just Discovery here to try and set my draws up a little bit and try and, like, find, like, I'd like to be able to, like, turn lands, for instance, into cards that I use to save the Primal Tide rather than discarding meaningful spells. Wow, they're actually thinking about negating this. That seems, like, super reasonable for me. Say that does not seem like a strong play. And then at this point, unless this mystery card's a Mortify, I expect this one to get negated. Can you explain why they cast a Teferi, knowing you have a Contempt and couldn't protect it? Because they just needed lands. They're basically just, like, cycling their Teferi. ESPN Joris, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Let's slow this down.
That's unfortunate. Alright, well now this is necessary. So Vel Eldest, I'll bend my hand, blink the Primal Tide, we'll kill the Teferi in combat.
No time for a break.
Nah, I think even if they know they're not going to be able to protect it, like, cycling the Teferi's not the worst there. Like, propelling themselves into land drops is not a terrible play. Land. Perfect. Now, if they have a Mortify in their hand, I'm going to be a little bit sad here. Because Mortifier, Vraska's Contempt both get me. Teferi's going to untap 2 lands for them, and they'll be able to kill my Nezahal during the end of my turn. Or the end of their turn. So they have 2 cards I don't know. Let's give old Tefi boy a love tap here. And now, I know they have Negate, but if they cast Negate, I draw a card with Nezahal, and this card's going to get discarded from my hand with Eldest Reborn anyway, so I might as well just jam here. Because whatever's in my hand is not staying there. And this is perfect, because this is another card that, like, I get to get out of my hand here. Whoa! Oh! Oh, buddy. Oh, that's... Why attack Tef when it's coming back with Eldest Reborn? Because it's not coming back for a little bit. And, like, if I leave the Tef in play, it's going to get to draw extra cards for them. And, like, I can just attack it again. Thunk.
Let's skip to the good part.
I mean, the free tuck is what it is, right? Because, like, they're tucking, but them tucking means that they then aren't drawing a card with it. So, like, it's kind of a wash in a way.
Only time will tell.
And I think I'm supposed to do this. If they hit Kaya's Wrath, I'm sad. But, like, I have a backup Primal Tide. This insulates me nicely from an Eldest Reborn. So, looking to dodge Kaya's Wrath and Cleansing Novas. What game is this? This is game 2. We are currently down a game. Go into game 3. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Hey, clever girl. Thanks for the quarter V. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So this is going to be my last match of Magic for the day. This deck generates some sweet games against Esper for sure. We've got good tools here. We decided not to draw Niv. Yeah, we drew Niv's 5 and 6 in Nezahal. Although Nezahal was better than Niv would have been in a couple of situations because he was able to protect himself from, like, Eldest Reborn, which was sweet. So, like, Niv would not have been strictly better than Nezahal there, which is interesting. Similar roles, but slightly different cards. After I finish this match up, I'm going to... I don't know, I'm going to do it for a super long time, probably an hour or so. I'm going to stream a little bit of the Warhammer TCG that I've been playing in some of my spare time. It's become my gym game. They have a mobile client, but they recently released on Steam, so I'm going to stream a little bit of it because I think it's sweet. It is unlike a lot of the other digital card games that exist, the Warhammer card game also has a paper component, which is sweet. They're going to be having some tournaments at Gen Con this summer that I want to play in. So I'll probably be doing occasional streams of it. No, I'm not going to stream it at the gym. We're just going to load it up here on the computer. Well, I don't believe in mulliganing against a deck full of Thought Erasures, so we're going to keep this and hope it's good enough. Hopefully the top of our deck is feeling hot, hot, hot. Do, 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 do. Sweaty Hoglandia Dream Dead. Hey, thanks for the ad bits, T-Dub. I appreciate it. And then remember, for my regulars, I do start late on Fridays, so I won't be live until about 10:30 tomorrow morning. KT Sizzle, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome. I appreciate the support. So the shock in there, I think that means I just want to put this shock land into play tapped. I don't think there's any reason to jam this Thief of Sanity into an obvious absorb. How much for a gym stream? I know there's a price. There's someone who's been here a while. All right, so now, this is one of the interesting things. I chose not to jam the Thief on 3 because they were obviously holding up a counterspell or some kind of 3-mana thing. I think it's correct to jam the Thief on 4 for a couple of reasons. Had to sub after the hot. Well, if you enjoyed that, there's plenty more bad parodies and song bits where that came from. Jamming it on 4 here is different because this way, if they want to counterspell or kill this, they have to do that instead of casting Chemist's Insight to get ahead on cards. Also, this turn, if they kill this or Chemist's Insight and then untap and Teferi, I can then untap an Eldest Reborn or Contempt. Although, it could also be possible, and this is why, a lot of permutations in card games, it could be right to just pass with Contempt up, because if they Teferi, if they have a Negate here, I could get into trouble. So if they have Negate or Disdainful Stroke, this sequence is bad for me. Fancy Penguin, thank you for the 14 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The Thought Erasure is a good pickup here because it means if this gets countered, which sadly it looks like it is, that means next turn I can Thought Erasure them to kind of clear the way for my Vraska's Contempt and my Niv. But the Teferi is going to sit here and draw more cards, so yikes. Well, so much for that plan. The best laid plans, right? Yeah, there's a chance that maybe the play I was explaining with the Thief wasn't good. This was definitely a worst case scenario here, right? They had removal, they had Teferi, they had the counterspell. It's like all 3 of those things had to happen for it to be bad for us, but I could have played around that because I had the Contempt, so maybe I should have. Yeah, I don't know. And that's one of those things that's like makes card games interesting. Like it's all the probabilistic plays where like, well, it's unlikely that they could have this, but I have the tools to play around it. And like by playing into that and them having it, I basically lose the game on the spot, right? Yeah, that's right. That's the risk, right? Like my line has the potential to just win very quickly, but it could also just completely backfire. Well, all right. The fact that they played this Thief seems strange, knowing that I have this and Connive. So like this gets to poke them. So like there's the counterspell that they represented earlier. And now it's like, all right, steal your Thief. Not right. Thank you for continuing your sub, Gifty. Forever support. Can we bump up Grixis mid-range 10 out of 10? I will get those biddies added after I'm done streaming today. Thanks for the support, Forever. That's true. They can do this. Yep, Teferi tucked the Thief in. The downside here is that now if they want to deal with this Niv-Mizzet, they need a separate answer, right? Which maybe they have one lined up already, but they can't Niv tuck the, well, they can't Teferi tuck the Niv without losing the Teferi now because he's at 3. This game's been one of the classic examples of Teferi kind of snowballing on you. So like they got the Teferi down, they had the counter for my Eldest, and then they punched me in the face and took my Vraska's Contempt away from me, so I couldn't do that either. Yeah, and they have the answer here. We might have been okay here if they missed for a turn or two and like had to trigger Niv a couple times, but if I don't draw another Niv next turn, we're gonna be solidly into garbage time. So I'm gonna take a draw step here at a Biggity Bomb, and if we miss, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. And again, I think I was probably, I think I was definitely unnecessarily, took an unnecessary risk early in this game on that third turn, and then I ended up getting punished for it. And that's one of the things that, like, makes it, the new Tef and Vivians, they work just like legendary creatures. The name of the card is what matters, not the Planeswalker type. That game's such a great example of one of the things that makes it kind of hard to get better at Magic, which is that, like, even though that game lasted until turn 9 or 10 there, the decision I made on my 4th turn is ultimately what lost me the game. And there's so many small decisions you make in your games that it can often be hard to, like, look back and think about, like, okay, what's actually the reason I lost this, as opposed to like going, oh, they just, like, drew the stuff at the end and they just drew better. When in reality, it's, I'm pretty sure we lost that because I made a mistake. I think my ultimate takeaway on this one, just for a short wrap-up segment like we like to do, is that I think this deck was just worse than playing the Jeskai Niv deck that we played yesterday that was actually quite good. I think one of the biggest issues with these kind of Reanimator decks is that, like, the things that you're getting back with the Concocts don't cost that much mana, so you might as well just be casting them. And with the Jeskai deck, do I still have it in my editor here? Yeah, so the Jeskai deck has things like Sarkhan and Treasure Map, and these things more consistently put Niv into play ahead of time than trying to reanimate it does. So yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, I don't know that the decision that I made on turn 4 was wrong, statistically speaking. Like, that play could be right and win us the game 60% of the time, but we were in the 40% and lost because of it. And that's one of the, part of that kind of analysis and breakdown that you can do.